Yes, and I respect that. But my client has a championship to contest. So if you want our participation, I'm afraid the concessions are mandatory. Yes, that's fine. Get back to me when you can. Goodbye. No one ever just signs the contract. Anyway, thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to cover a couple of quick things with you before you race. Firstly, as requested, there's a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance standards. You're second driver for now, but work hard, hit your targets, and I'll be able to sweeten the deal. I'm also looking to get you into some invitational events throughout the season. The experience and exposure from these will be great for your image. Plus, you'll get to drive some nice historic cars. Now then, go get ready for the next session, and good luck.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. Anthony Davidson is here as usual to help take us through the action. And Ant, I've seen some questions on social media and other places about this current crop of F1 cars and why they're so much faster now, despite being significantly heavier than the previous generations of machines. Take us through that one.
I'd be happy to, Crofty. And simply put, it's a matter of grip. Now, that comes from two sources. You have what we call mechanical grip, which comes from the surface of the tyres sticking to the road. And these tyres are significantly wider now when compared to previous years, so they have the potential for more mechanical grip. Then you have the downforce, of course, which pushes the car into the road as the air moves over it, thus generating grip. And these cars have about 20% more downforce, which is more than enough to overcome the added weight. In the unforgiving world of Formula One, free practice sessions are a vital part of any Grand Prix weekend. During your F1 career, you'll be able to utilise these sessions to complete practice programmes, which will help you learn the track and earn you points that can be invested in developing your car. You'll also be able to adjust your car setup over the course of these sessions to try and find those extra fractions of a second.
Morning, it's Jeff here. I'm looking forward to working with you as your race engineer. Hope you've had your coffee, because we have a lot of work to do today to get ready for the season ahead. We're ready to fire up the car. Why not head out and get a few early laps under your belt? A bit like a rubber out on track. Try to take it easy for a couple of laps.
As all the cars are now over the line, your top three again are Vettel, Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo. That concludes an interesting practice session. Let's hope for more excitement as the weekend unfolds.
Ah, you got my message. Perfect. Welcome to home away from home. We get more real-time data from the factory now than ever before, and it all comes through here. So I have to spend more time checking over the reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end... Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, Chris, is this important? I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Right. Well, that makes no sense. Have Sarah reset the simulation and run it again. Okay. Sorry about that. As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you at the front here. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data that we've collected over the weekend and through the practice programs. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. And when that happens, we have to divert additional resources to fix it. C'est la vie, I'm afraid.
At some point before qualifying, let's get our track acclimatization program complete. It'll help us identify any specific problem areas on the circuit. Okay, let's update the setup.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three. Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top three. Raikkonen, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Guess who made the gossip columns this morning? Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top three, who are a McLaren, Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye. It's out with the old and in with the new here at Albert Park as we usher in what we hope will be a triumphant new era of Formula One racing. For our drivers, though, it's very much business as usual, as they look to be first across that line and get their championship off to a winning start. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, former world champion, and dare I say it, all-round top bloke as well. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, and it's gone and rained on us. I imagine that that's not especially helpful for the teams, who are still trying to figure out, of course, what kind of performance they're all capable of.
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here. I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, in regards to the weather, you're absolutely right. You know, we've just come here off the back of testing. It's the first opportunity to really gauge where the reliability is, where the performance is, how you stack up against your competitors in the Grand Prix, and now it all has to be kind of put on hold for a bit. So now the question becomes, who can be adaptable? Who has the wet weather pace, and who can make best use of these difficult circumstances to come out on top in these conditions?
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. It's McLaren in pole position then, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Massa, Ocon, Kvyat and Roman Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Lance Stroll and Sainz, Raikkonen, Palmer, Marcus Ericsson and Pascal Wehrlein. Verstappen and Fernando Alonso starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Let's convert this pole position into a win today. Good luck. Put the clutch in, hold it there till the start, feed in the throttle. Let's build the revs. Drive-through penalty, you have a drive-through penalty. considering switching to an alternate strategy? Do you want to change or stick to plan A? Excess fuel weighing us down. Set the fuel mix to mode 3. Let's push.